Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Seed Talk. My name is Layne, and in keeping with our winter theme of sharing clips from some of our favorite episodes, today we're going to be traveling back in time to episode 13. In that episode, Lisa and I shared some of our favorite gifts for gardeners, and today we're going to be listening in to some of those. Enjoy! All right, Lisa, so the very first gift pick is yours. Why don't you go ahead? Oh, there you go.
Yep. So I'm telling you, these are the best gloves ever. I've worn them for about 15 years and they are Atlas Nitrile Touch gloves. And friends, I will tell you that I give my sisters and sister-in-laws new gloves every single year because who doesn't want a fresh pair of gloves? And they are super affordable and you'll find them at the Gardener's Workshop from small to extra large. And let me tell you why I love them. I literally can sow seeds in these gloves. And if you could hear that, they are super grippy. And that means that you can just do any little job. I have cousins that milk cows in them. I know that golfers wear them, quilters wear them, mini maids, Mary maids, not mini maids, Mary maids. A lot of people use them in a lot of different places. And who would not appreciate a pair of gloves? New ones, fresh ones. Right?
There's nothing better than a fresh pair of gloves. And also they're great for opening jars too, if you want to just keep an extra pair in your kitchen.
And you know what I wanted to mention? They also come in extra small. You probably wear an extra small, don't you, Layne?
Yes. Yes,
and
definitely.
That was kind of our specialty size for all these years because there are so many people with small hands that are wearing big gloves everywhere. They're machine washable, and you can get them in 4-packs or you can get them individually. And friends, it is a gift that your friends will expect them every single year from you.
Yes, fantastic idea. And
yes.
Gloves make an excellent stocking stuffer.
Exactly, for sure.
All right, so let's go on to my first pick. So Lisa's first pick was really great as a stocking stuffer, like we just said. Mine would not be a great stocking stuffer gift unless you were shopping for the Jolly Green Giant, perhaps. So my first pick is leaf hands. So that's what I like to, yes. So I call these leaf hands. I think the technical name might be leaf scoops, but these are just, if you're listening on a podcast, I'll try to describe them and I'll hold them up here for you. But they basically look like really oversized dustpans almost, but they have a handle where you put your hand in and it just acts as a hand extension. It gives you so much surface area so you can maneuver huge quantities of leaves very quickly. So in our garden, we don't let any leaves leave the property. Basically, we do relocate leaves though. So sometimes my husband or I, one of us will rake the leaves into a pile and the other one will take the leaf hands and distribute them into the garden beds. They're also great if you're feeding things into a leaf mulcher, or maybe you are someone that does bag your leaves or puts them into a bin. These make the job so much faster. You have to bend down less times and you also bend down not quite as far. So it just makes everything go faster. It's also great if you're weeding and you have a big pile of weeds there. You can maneuver grass clippings. The only tip I have is that sometimes, because they're plastic, or at least mine are, where the wrist strap hits your wrist, it's good if you have a long sleeve shirt that kind of pads you right there if you're going to be doing it for a long period of time. But these just let you move really large quantities of leaves really quickly. And we absolutely love our leaf hands. Have you ever used these, Lisa?
We used to sell those, Layne. We had them.
You did?
Oh, we did, but then we lost our supply. And you're reminding me that we should revisit that. We love those things. They were a great gift, particularly when people are looking for stuff for the dad. You know, it's like the dad is stuck with that job. Why not give him something that can really help him out? A pair of gloves, and those were how we kind of bundled it back in the day. What a great idea. I love those. And I do have a pair.
Oh, good. Yeah, I love them. And I just love giving something unexpected. And it's kind of like, what is that? And everyone gets interested when they open it up. So that was my first pick. So now let's move on to Lisa's next pick. And that is going to be, of course.
Of course.
Describe what it is.
This is the cut flower shears that we use here on our farm. I used to be a Felco #2 shear user for years and years. That's what I used, and I loved them. But they're a little big and they're a little bit heavy. These little shears fit in your hands so beautifully and really hold up. And in fact, we know that they last more than a year because we don't lose them because we use a pouch. This literally, y'all, is my original pouch when I started flower farming 20 some years ago, literally. And why I love it is it's got a clip on it that slides on your pocket. You do not have to wear a belt to use it. And when you have a pouch on your pocket, you never lay your clippers down. And that's why we know that these clippers last more than a season because we don't lose them. We have the biggest pile in there. So this is a great gift. The pouch, in fact, any clipper will fit in it. But this is super lightweight and handy. And my mother-in-law actually one Christmas bought from us the clippers for all of her daughters and daughter-in-laws. And they all keep them in their kitchen, in their little junk drawer. You know what I mean? To do flowers in their kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
To cut that kind of stuff. So totally in love with our shears and the pouch. And it's a great gift that they will love you for.
Everyone needs shears. There's always reasons to have multiple different shears throughout your house, throughout your garden. Love the shears. And I have to say, at our company picnic last year, there's always like a game and prizes. And my husband and I were like crossing our fingers that the shears were still there when it was time for us to pick our prize. And they were. So we love those shears. Very nice. Awesome. Yes. All right. On to the next pick. So my next pick is something that is quite tiny, but it is one of my favorite tools ever. And that is a mini trowel. So I'm going to hold it up here.
Trowel?
Yes, yes. I'll show you the scale. Let me bring it up. So it's this tiny. For those that are just listening on a podcast, it almost looks like if a squirrel were a farmer, this would be their full size trowel. That's like the size of it. It's like probably 6 or 7 inches long. It's only about an inch wide. And what I love to use this trowel for, well, there are a few things, but I love planting soil blocks with this trowel. So we plant a lot of stuff. We have a wooded lot and a lot of our soil is quite hard and it's not easy. I can't just do a one-handed putting the soil block into the soil. This little shovel just creates the perfect little notch for you to just drop a 3/4 inch soil block in. My husband even uses it. They're perfect for him as well. And they're also great for if you're someone that has a lot of house plants, or if you're giving it to someone that has a lot of house plants, just shoveling a tiny bit of soil in, you can use it to get transplants out of plug trays or out of really small nursery pots. I just absolutely love this, and I would not be without this, especially for planting my soil blocks out into the garden.
And it's so cute.
It's so cute. It's just very cute.
Very, very cute. I love that. I love it. Yeah. I may have to have one.
You do need to have one. Everybody needs to have one of those. All right. Next gift. All right, Lisa.
About the same size. This is our Japanese sod cutter. And while this may have been designed to, think about sod farmers, that would be a farm with just fields and fields of grass growing, and they literally go out and they use a machine, I'm sure, to cut it into strips. Well, this is the tool they use when they're installing it in somebody's lawn and just allows them to cut it. It has a serrated edge, and I mean, we use this tool for so many different uses here on our farm, from harvesting greens like cutting lettuce and kales, and I do not use them for cutting flowers, but it works absolutely great for cutting fleshy things like leaf. And also, what else do I use it for? Oh my goodness, for cutting the string off of our tiller that gets caught up on the tiller on the tractor. I mean, it is so, Steve and I have used it to cut through cover crops that have gotten wrapped around the tiller. I mean, I just can't tell you how tough this little knife is. And it's super affordable. It is a perfect stocking stuffer. And here's the testament that you can even leave it laying outside and letting it get all rusty and it still cuts. I've done it. I have found them out in the garden where somebody dropped one and it's like, oh my gosh, it still works like a gem. So we totally love the sod cutter.
I love that. And can you describe the difference between the sod cutter and a hori for someone that's
Sure.
maybe listening instead of watching
Sure.
us?
So a hori is a garden knife. It is super heavy duty. I mean, it's got a really nice wooden handle and a galvanized or a ductile iron type of blade on it. I mean, it's pretty heavy in your hand. You're not going to bend it. This is much lighter weight, and it's actually the cutting edge that does all the work on this. The garden knife is great for stabbing in the ground to plant a transplant or something, and to pry up something out of the ground. The sod knife is more for cutting action, not getting something out of the way that you don't want there.
Yeah, the hori is really good for digging, and this is better for cutting.
And we love that
All
thing.
right. Well, I hope this episode gave you some great gifting ideas for all the gardeners in your life, including yourself. If you want to hear the rest of our gift picks, feel free to check out the full episode, which was episode 13. This podcast is brought to you by the Gardener's Workshop, so if you have a need for any seeds, tools, supplies, or online courses, be sure to check out thegardenersworkshop.com. Thanks so much for joining us. Please be sure to follow or subscribe wherever you're watching or listening. And until next time, happy growing!